25 Mike Pren. It is the top of the year. It is the first show of the new year of 2024. We done made it through. We did some awesome things last year, and we're gonna talk about those and recap and look at the future and prayers. I am excited. We're gonna get this on. What's going on, prayers?
Well, you know what? Let me say, this is an exciting year. Some of us survived 2023. Some of us had a prosperous year, but 2024 is here, and we're going to have to make the best of what we got. There's some exciting things going on in 2024, and there's going to be some challenges in 2024 for Black business, for Black people. You got all kinds of issues happening, from immigration issues to the attack on affirmative action. So there's a lot happening. So I'm excited today that we're in the chair to give you relevant information today about things that we think are relevant to you, and how do we move our Black business agenda forward. Because I can tell you, it's going to be one heck of a 2024. We got a presidential election coming up in 2024, and nobody knows who's going to win. But it's going to be important for us to determine what's in our best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's in our best interest, and we have to be informed. Right, guys. That if we're not informed, and if we don't know the issues, and we don't understand the platforms by which people have, even with the platform, sometimes you ain't going to get the whole facts. But we got to be as informed as we can be so that we can make the right decision. One thing we can't afford to do, we can't afford to sit at home and not vote. That
Absolutely.
is what I'm concerned about. You can't sit
Absolutely.
at home. This is not the time to sit at home and say, I'm mad at everybody. I ain't going to do nothing. I'm just going to stay at home. I'm not going to vote. That is a vote. And you're making a vote for somebody when you do that. And that's normally going to be someone that's probably not in your best interest. So we try to move it on.
Knowledge is power. Own your power, people.
Absolutely.
That's right. We have got to vote because our voices have to be heard. We have to guide and direct our politicians as to what it is that we want to happen that will invoke change within our very own communities. We can't just sit back no more. You sit back, you're playing the victim. You're
Absolutely.
playing the victim.
What's interesting, I want to mention, this is the anniversary of the insurrection.
Happy
Well-
Insurrection Day. Happy Insurrection Day.
And let me just say this, because we're not going to dwell on this, but I do want to touch on it because it is a historical day. And some people would like to say that that was a friendly disagreement on Capitol Hill, and that
Friendly.
there was no real insurrection.
Friendly.
And some even say that Antifa was leading this particular charge. So it's really amazing at the conversation that you hear and the information that's out there. Now, I asked this question to both you and Mike, and I would ask this to our audience. If on that day that was a group of Black folks trying to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power, how many of us would have died on the Capitol? I mean, would it have been just, what we saw? I mean, there was no, other than there was one young lady, one woman who was shot, and then there was a number of police officers who, one died that day, next died next day, and number committed suicide. But I wonder what would have happened if Black folks would have stormed the Capitol.
Let me tell you something. In 1992, when they found those police officers innocent of beating Rodney King, I was on the campus of Clark Atlanta University, and we were peacefully protesting and talking about it. And they said on our college campus, we did not have the right to gather. And so the police surrounded our college campus, tear gassed our dormitories, beat us with billy clubs and safety shields. And we were Black college students peacefully protesting on our private property. So when you say, what would have happened had that been a crowd of Black people? I can only imagine bullets would have been flying, because billy clubs was flying back in 92. I'm telling you, and I was there.
For the college kids, y'all
Oh,
got the billy clubs.
Yes, yes. As college kids, we got the billy clubs, and anybody that was part of the AUC back in the early 90s, they know exactly what happened.
And here's the point I'm making, guys, and I don't think we we should take light of this is that the whole Black Lives Matter issue points this out, that Black lives, from an American perspective, sometimes don't really matter that much when it comes to the issues of procurement, when it comes to the issues of police brutality and those issues. We get, like Dr. King says, of the good things in life, the black man or black woman gets a small portion of the bad things in life. We get a double portion, and those are the facts. So, what black people really want at the day in 2024 is equity, fairness across the board, and we're going to have to fight for that. Affirmative action is has been eradicated by the Supreme Court. There's other things that are happening. This budget they're trying to pass will have an enormous impact. If Republicans can get what they want, will have an enormous impact upon black people. And we better pay attention to what they're doing, no matter who's in office, but we better pay attention because it has impact upon us. So we're going to unwrap a lot of things in 2024. We're going to have some meaningful conversation. We're going to stay focused on Black economic empowerment. And the first caller, I want to, bring Vincent Gilbert in. Vincent was the regional VP for the Black Chamber of Commerce. He worked for Congressman Gus Savage on Capitol Hill. He worked for Governor Ryan. He has an extensive background and a good friend. So we'd like to bring Vincent Gilbert on. Vincent Gilbert, happy 2024, my friend.
Good morning, Mr. President. And let me just say, Larry and MC and Lord Mike, good to hear your voice, Lord Mike. I've been saying this for 45 years when the great Wesley South gave me the call-in number. Thank God for WVON under its leadership currently of Melody Span Cooper and her husband, Pierre. It's been true when I used to say it 40 years ago. It's even truer now that we have this unfettered voice to the Black community. And so I just want to thank them. I want to thank the Chamber, Larry. But I have sad news.
Yeah, Vincent.
Yes, sir.
And let me just say this is that my understanding that we lost a giant and someone that you knew personally.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that because he was a businessman, but also he was a humanitarian who gave a lot to the community. So, Vince, we're going to turn it over to you and give us the insight in terms of this gentleman, what he's done, and how do we should celebrate him and be reminded of his commitment. And for audience who knew him, if you want to call in and just make some comments, feel free to do so.
Well, thank you for that, Larry Ivory. The last time I had in that case, it was a pleasure and an honor. Sad one. This time it's a pleasure and an honor, but it's a sad one. When Tommy Savage called me and told me that his dad had died, I was able to call Melody, and of course, they put me right on, and I gave that information to the community. Family, get your pens, get your paper. Now, Walter Brooks, the general, has passed. Now, many of you, like I, even when I ate fish, 87th in Ashland, 95th in the Dan Ryan, this man had restaurants and franchises all over the world. Belize, Ohio, Ghana. He took many trips with W.L. Lillard and I in the Straight Talk Economic Roundtable on business trips. Like you do a lot, Larry. We took delegations to New York, and then we would go to various countries around the world. The General's homegoing celebration information is Monday, January 8th, at Lake and Sons Chapel at 7838 South Cottage Grove. The family hour is 1 o'clock to 2 p.m. The services for the general will start at 2 p.m. There will be a repast immediately following the celebration across the street from Leaks. And that address is 7851 Cottage Grove. The general's homegoing celebration will be in the King Room. The General Larry was an exceptional man. He's a man of all seasons. He stood tall in stature, about 6'4", 6'5". Had a commanding, booming voice. Always a smile on his face. And I saw this man in the 30-something years, probably even 40 if I think about it, that I knew him. That's one of the only places on the planet that I knew that if you were hungry, you could go to 87th and Ashland or 95th and say, I'm hungry. And they fix you a plate. Not telling you to stand on the side and, we got paying customers to serve you, but they would give you the kind of respect that you deserve, even if you were down on your luck. How many times did I call Walter Brooks when people would call me and ask for employment? And especially if they had history as a cook or in the restaurant business, I could call him and that next day that person would be working. He didn't have alligator arms, as they say in the community. When a bill came or there was something that the business community needed to do, Larry, he would front the bill and he would say, don't let anybody know. I'm going to take care of that. I saw this man feed whole churches, not families, churches with 300 and 400 people. Do you know the expenditures that took for a small business owner to be able to do that? But he always did it with a smile. The general, born in 1941, West Side, Harrison High School. He started his first business, the Mad Butcher, in the 70s. But he used to say, Larry, what you say all the time. He's one of the first guys I ever heard say this. No one will help us but us. Absolutely. Black businesses mean black jobs. He was saying that in the 80s and the 90s, Larry.
Well, Vince,
no one will help us but us.
Yeah.
Black businesses means black jobs.
Well, Vincent,
and
one of the things I want to interrupt you for a moment because
sure.
I think it's so important that when we have people who have done so much for the community to take time to acknowledge who they are,
yes.
what their contribution has been. And I want to give condolences from the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce to his family in recognition of this great humanitarian and all the work that he's done. And much love goes out to them for, the good work that he's done. And I've heard about him, and it's so fitting, that we honor people or we acknowledge the work that they've done and how they've served the community unselfishly. And I think that's critical.
Yes. Especially on a business show, Larry. He was the consummate businessman. Now, most people knew the general or knew of him from his very successful restaurant chain, Eat and Run. And I remember once Eat and Run had been established, he would come to the round table meetings. And he said one day, and that's how I kind of got birthed, he said, I'm selling more chicken than the colonel. And he was. He said, I should be the general. That's how that name, he said, I'm selling more chicken than the colonel. I should be the general. Let me just add, too, he had fantastic food. And years later, from that successful run, and his daughter, who was a businesswoman in her own right, Shalonda Brooks, they established as good as mothers. I can hear people smiling now. Fish and chicken seasoning, as good as mothers. And that product could be found all over the country also. He was a staunch member of the Straight Talk Economic Roundtable. He was there every Thursday at Captain Hard Times that we would have 300 and 400 people. If I start naming business people that started their career there or had a career and had it enhanced by coming to that meeting, he was always there. He was a stalwart and a fixture on W.L. Lillard's Straight Talk Economic Roundtable TV show. Of course, W.L. Lillard, one of the best friends I have in the world, produced my show as the Advocate for over 20 years. He was a standard. He was a mainstay on Munir Muhammad's show. And he had a special place for WVON. He took many trips to Africa with WVON. He was one of those individuals, Larry, that if it was moving the proposition of Black people 1 inch, he was there. See, we can always talk about who's not doing what, or Betty or John should be doing this. He looked at the positive in every organization and every person, and he acted accordingly. But more importantly, he put his money where his mouth was. Let me say that again. We have some businessmen that take advantage of our community and never do anything. Walter Brooks was not one of those individuals. And I would like Larry at this time to give a special condolence to his family, especially his daughter, Shalonda Brooks, who, as long as I can remember, was his right hand and his left hand, right there. And she learned, obviously, invaluable lessons from his tutelage. I'd also like to thank Congressman Jonathan Jackson and his chief of staff, Ed Ham. I'd like to thank Alderman Ronnie Mosley and his chief of staff, Carla Glover. I didn't have to tell the congressman or the alderman about the general. They already knew because they had relationships with this great man. So the congressman did a beautiful proclamation and the alderman a resolution. But Larry, just let me say in conclusion, thank you for having an open forum every week that informs our people. You know, especially with the VON family. I found this out for 40 years. I'm not that smart, but they are. And so, once again, the homegoing celebration for Walter Brooks, the general, would be at Leaks, 7838, South Cottage Grove. The family hour is 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. The service will begin at 2 o'clock. There will be a repast immediately following the celebration. Oh, it's going to be a celebration. You know, when you shed some tears and can laugh and smile, that's a real complete day. So I wanted to give that sad but pertinent information to the family. And thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Vincent.
For allowing me to do it.
No problem at all, man. We we're here to celebrate, people who have made a contribution, and it is an honor for us to acknowledge his leadership, his role, and it would be inappropriate not to acknowledge the great contribution of so many entrepreneurs and people who give back to the community. Again, thanks a lot, Vincent.
Yes.
And
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Michael, did you know about the general, man? I've heard his name a number of times, and it really is important to celebrate Black entrepreneurship and people who's given so much back to the community?
You know, I know of the restaurant. Okay, I knew of the restaurant. I didn't know of him personally, but as a the '90s was my stomping ground. So we ripping and running and we eating. So I know of the restaurant, and indeed the food was good.
Yeah. Amen. That's really what's important, man. Mike, what do you got to say, man?
Well, hey man, I'm really just chiming in. I know we're going to be making some moves in just a second here, and we got some other things that we're going to be celebrating, some big events coming up here for 2024. So I want to make sure everybody knows that the lines are open, 773-591-1690. Join the conversation. If you know any great stories, or you like to add some sentiment to the passing of this honorable gentleman here, please feel free to hit us up. We are online at the Wake Up Show Chicago on YouTube, of course. You can jump on there, chat with us, and check out some of the archives up in there as well, too. So we're going to get into some more information, get into some more content, and talk about these events here in just 1 second. You're on the Wake Up Show.
Attention, all entrepreneurs and business owners. Tune into the Wake Up Show Chicago on YouTube for expert insights, valuable resources, and inspiration to grow your Black-owned business. Go to YouTube and search for @Wake Up Show Chicago and hit subscribe and the notification bell to subscribe to the Wake Up Show Chicago. For behind the scenes and in-studio action, don't miss a single episode. Engage with us in real time. Comment live on YouTube and connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. Hosted by Larry Ivory, Buddy Love, and MC Pearson. The Wake Up Show Chicago empowers Black-owned businesses, powered by Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Subscribe, engage, and elevate your business journey today.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Show Chicago on WVON. You can find us on Facebook and on YouTube. We are taking call-ins at 773-591-1690. I am MC Pearson from 25 Mike Printing. I'm here with our host, Larry Ivory of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. And, of course, the illustrious Lord Mike. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, what I'm saying is that we got to emphasize the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, because we have some people out there who have really tried to do some, incredible things to undermine the name of our organization. So we want to make sure people know the real organization, the real Chamber of Commerce that's been around since 1997 is the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Shout out to all those pretenders who want to be like us. We appreciate the fact that you want to be like us, but you're not us. So we just want to put that out there to those who are listening. But hey, here what we're really to talk about. We want to talk about, we got a couple things coming up. And we got a business guy who we're going to be hosting a networking session at his place. So I'm going to bring Daniel McDuffie on the call. Daniel, are you on, man?
Yes, I'm here, Larry Ivory. I'm here.
It's fantastic. Glad to have you on. I'm going to have my co-host talk to you a little bit about your business, and then we're going to talk about this event we're going to be doing at your place that we're glad to bring networking, and we're going to have the Capital Development Board. We're going to invite Wind Creek to come on. It's going to be a great opportunity for networking at a very beautiful place that you have, that you can tell us a little bit about. So at this time, Mike and MC Pearson, why don't you ask Mr. McDuffie what he do? What is he that he does?
I'm all ears, Mr. McDuffie.
Yes, I'm a union painting contractor. Been doing it since 1998. Actually, I was the last class to graduate out of Washburn Trade School when I started in the trade in the early 90s.
Yeah, that goes back a while, man.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Paul Williams mentioned that several times.
Yes, before they shut it down. It was a training school that I'm glad I was a part of in order for me to be where I am today.
It's amazing that you started this off talking about that you came out of a trade school when so many trade schools are being eradicated these days, and so many of the trade programs within the high schools are at least in the inner city schools are being taken away. But yet, we're speaking to an entrepreneur who came out of one of those programs and has employed other people who look like us, and so that just speaks to the importance of that area of education for our people. But please continue, sir.
Well, let me just mention this too, Daniel, is that I know that you are a painter, and there's a lot of opportunities because there's a lot of buildings going on. What the Capital Development Board has, I was talking to, they have over 700 projects going on. And one of the things that we talked about, and we talked to Jim Underwood, who's the director of the Capital Development Board, is that African Americans aren't participating at the level that we would like and they would like. And it's going to be our job to try to get them more involved and find out what the inherent talents are. We're going to invite them to come to your place and have the leadership come to your place and talk about all the projects that's going on. I'm going to try to get James Cockwell, who is the regional guy who's over all those projects. And we're talking about billions of dollars from the state that they're building. And we got to make sure that Black contractors, whether you be HVC, whether you be painting, electricians, plumbers, general contractors like Boa Construction Company, we got to make sure that we're not just at the table, but we're winning the contracts. And the chamber has a construction committee that is truly committed to becoming a legitimate voice. And we know there's other organizations that work in that space too, but collectively, I think 2024 is going to be about how we come together collectively to get things done.
Yes, I truly agree, Larry. And it's most important is empowering our Black contractors. And to create opportunity for inclusion, not exclusion.
Absolutely.
So I think we're on the right track for 2024.
Hey, well, we look forward to Mr. McDuffie to coming to your place and tell us where the location of your place is going to be. I've seen some pictures of it. I heard people say it's a great place, so it's going to be a great time. We're going to have great refreshments and a great time. You'll be able to hear the story of the chamber. You'll be able to hopefully get a chance to talk to the Capital Development Board. You'll hear some key people from Wind Creek, the new casino being built, a great partner of ours. And, they're doing some great things. One of the things I say about Wind Creek is that Wind Creek, that I've come to understand, is truly committed to community and diversity. And we have so many people who have benefited from the construction, but also what we're going to have. There's a gentleman by the name of Rick, and I won't try to pronounce his last name because I don't have it remembered, but hopefully he's going to come on the show. And he's going to be talking about employment for hundreds and thousands of people who will be working at the casino and hotel. And so we're going to be engaged with them, working with them to make sure, because they believe in communities. And we're hoping that we're going to help them work with you in terms of you doing business. And this is going to be important because what we got to find in this environment is people who don't just come in our community to benefit, but they understand how to give back to our communities. That's what we talked about, the gentleman just today with Vincent Gilbert. He didn't just come and sell some food. He gave back to so many people. And this is what we're looking for. This is what we need in our community, people that give back. So we're excited about that. And is there anything else you want to share with us? I think, MC, you got a question for him?
I'm excited about this event because the last time when we did our networking event towards the end of last year, I think it was like in October, right?
Right.
We had a couple of hundred small businesses come through there, and they networked. They got opportunities. They were able to get a lot of great information, and then even the business. We were at Casa de Puros in Maywood, the cigar lounge. They benefited from the networking event that we did there. So I'm looking forward to all of the businesses that are going to come out to this event, not just to be exposed to Mr. McDuffie's business, but to also be able to connect with the chamber and get the resources. Because see, when we talking about turning the ships around and coming off the ropes and battling back this year, we got to get involved. And this is the first place this year at Mr. McDuffie's place for us to make that thing happen. And so I'm really excited about this.
Hey, Daniel, take care, man, and we look forward to seeing you real soon in February.
Did you tell us where you're located, where the business is located?
It's located in the Beverly area, over on 97 at Bell, 9700 South Bell near Western. It's going to be a beautiful event, and that's where it's located, in the Beverly area.
Super.
Anyone that's familiar with the Beverly area, right near the Evergreen Beverly Mall.
Super. Hey, we're going to go off because we got another call we're going to take. We got Terry Simmons. And if you could get Terry, to lock Terry in on her, she got an event that's coming up also that we are partnering together. Terry, are you on?
Yes, I am, Larry.
Okay, fantastic. Terry, great to have you on. Terry is a dear friend and a phenomenal business leader also. And this year is going to be about collaboration, because I think it's going to take us working together, Terry, in order to make the strides we have, because we have forces against us. And it's going to require that we work together. But you got some exciting things going on. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what you got cooking? And we're glad to be a partner with you in this initiative. And we're excited. I did get a chance to talk to Jamie Reed. She is on board. And we're going to have a fantastic time.
Thank you, Larry. It is an honor always and a privilege to work with you, partner, collaborate, just be a sister with you, Larry, and Illinois State Black Chamber, and all of the wonderful things that you do to support Black business, minority-owned businesses, and their quest for growth. And it's good to hear my brother Michael Pearson on. Good morning. Happy New Year, Michael.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you. It is always pleasant to hear your voice. The moment that you came on, I mean, the clouds began to part. I heard a few birds singing. I just felt all warm inside.
He got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
He'll smile like that when he see me. I'm just trying to figure this out.
Well, I'm happy that I can bring some warmth on a snowy day.
I know that's right.
Larry, we are really excited to partner with you on February 29th at Malcolm X College in Chicago, 1900 West Jackson Boulevard, on our 2024 Clean Energy Business Summit. This summit is a must attend, and I'm just going to hit a few highlights of why you need to be there. Larry mentioned Jamie being there from the Chicago Authority, Transportation Authority with the airport. And so that is just one of the great resources that we're going to be bringing to businesses on the 29th at Malcolm X College. We're going to be bringing also a lot of cutting edge insights. We're going to be exploring within this clean energy initiative, which the government invested about $3.5 billion in for clean energy and job creation. So we're going to be unpacking and exploring where are the opportunities. Larry mentioned contracts and capability and construction and all of these different industries and areas where businesses can learn, where there are opportunities where they can grow, they can make connections at this summit. And we're just excited about bringing utility industries, state agencies, small businesses, and all of these wonderful partners together, where we're going to talk about clean energy, its investment, and how minority businesses can take advantage of these opportunities. We're also going to have matchmaking sessions there, Larry. So it's going to be a power-packed day filled with a lot of great value for our businesses, and I can't wait to partner with you.
Hey, Terry, let me ask you, when you say matchmaking, so it means that those businesses who are interested in doing business with other companies has an opportunity to sit down and talk to someone that they can have a potential opportunity to do business with.
That is correct, Larry. It's an opportunity for them to meet one-on-one with the folks that can learn, they can talk to from the different companies and agencies that can learn more about the products and services that they provide. And so that starts to build that relationship. So now these agencies and corporations can know what you do, HVAC. We have folks out there that are have businesses that do project management, flagging and permitting. We want these folks to know we have these ready businesses that are ready to supply them with the goods and services that they're looking for, Larry. So yes, it's a one-on-one opportunity.
One of the other things that I was just mentioning too, and I don't think I'm gonna get myself to it, but the young lady who heads up the CJA program for the state of Illinois is Hillary Scott, who is a member of the chamber, but she is a director, and they got a lot of resources. It may be good for us to reach out and have a conference call with her because she's the one the group that's handling all of the clean energy things and solar energy and things like that. So it may be great for us to contact with her. But let me just say, Terry, it's a pleasure. You've been a friend for a long time, and really your family, and more than just family we call family, but we're relatives, and it's honor to work with you. Your passion and commitment is there, and I'm excited. And I'm telling every business person you want to be a part of this event because you got other organizations that are coming together also that are working on this particular initiative with Terry, leading the charge in terms of creating this forum for us to connect with business people, with leadership, and make it happen. So we're going to bring you back on, Terry, as we get closer to the day of the event, and we're going to talk about some of the key people, the leadership who are presidents of major companies that's going to be there, and we may even get them on the air also to talk about who they are and what they're doing. Maybe bring Jamie on or any number of other people. So we're going to be excited. Look forward to Terry bring you back on the air to talk about this incredible event that's going to be coming up here soon.
Thank you, Larry. And, just to leave a location where folks can go and learn more about the event, www.strategicexceptions.com. You can go to our website and you can register there for the event. But again, Larry, I look forward to coming back on to talk more about what the Illinois State Black Chamber and the Illinois Minority Business Development Agency will be doing on February 29th at the Clean Energy Business Summit.
Thank you very much, Terry. Have a wonderful day.
It's going to be a power
You too,
union.
Larry.
It's going to be a power union right there.
Absolutely.
I am really excited about this. It's I would encourage our listeners, especially those small businesses that are wondering how they can get involved in this or how should they prepare for this. Last year, this is why our archives on YouTube are so important, because when we got ready to do our business summit last year, we talked about how to prepare for it. We talked about capability statements, and we covered all of those things in the lead up to it so that small businesses can be prepared. So it would behoove any small business owner who just heard about this from Miss Terry to go back, check our YouTube archives, cover those things so that you can be prepared for February 29th at Malcolm X for the 2024 Clean Energy Business Summit. You need to get prepared. Check our archives on YouTube.
And we have Cliff who's waiting on the call. So let's lock Cliff in and see what you got to say for us, Cliff.
Hello?
Yeah, Cliff, you're on.
No, this is Pastor Daniels.
Oh, Pastor Daniels, how you doing there?
I'm doing great. I was so excited when I heard Dan McDuffie on there, and we've been trying to work some things out over at that Homewood Casino, and it sounds like he's made some inroads.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're proud of you, Mr. Larry, for your expertise in bringing the grassroots community back into the situation to meld in and blend in with you experts and consortium of business people. But we're just grateful to hear that, and we want you to know that if you need Pastor Daniel's help, United Voters for Truth and Change, the Church Without Walls, and we'll be there to stand with you for any adversarial or confrontational situations that you may have to deal with. Although I'm about to be 70, I'm still warring on the grounds. The battle is not over, but the war is still going on, and we're still fighting for opportunities for contracts and opportunities for young people to get involved as apprentices, as painters, as carpenters, as plumbers, as electricians. So we're just so grateful that you have something going on like this so that we can be a part of it. We're not a business person, so to speak, but we certainly know how to conduct business to bring our people into these great opportunities.
Well, Pastor, it's great to have you call in. And, one of the things I think that I'm impressed with in terms of you called me and said, look, Larry, we got to make sure that this particular company gets a chance to have a bite of the apple at the table, and that's commendable because we need more advocates reaching out, making sure that our people get an opportunity. And when pastors call and ministers call, it helps us to stay focused on the things that matter. So again, thank you very much for your leadership and the role that you play in our communities as an advocate for business. And we love the fact that you're ready to fight because sometimes we got to fight. Sometimes we got to finesse them, but
the
sometimes
fight
we got
is
to fight.
always going on, and these create opportunities not just for business people. They create opportunities for individuals, and I've been putting individuals in the construction industry for over 47 years. We're up to about 3,000 individuals, black men and women. We have a BMW division called Black Men Working and a BWW division, Black Women Working. And we plan to introduce this to young people 18 to 40 that they can change their life around if they so dare.
Super. Hey, well, thanks again for your call in.
And thank you. And thank you. And thank you for taking my call. And God bless you in your future endeavors.
Thank you. Well, guys, one of the other things I think I wanted to mention, because we wanted to get into a number of things about procurement, but we're going to do that in the next show. But one of the things I do want to just kind of mention, I was invited to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. President of the United States spoke in front of a packed house, and I mean a packed house, at the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce, where Reuben Hopkins is the leader of that organization. He is a part of the National Black Chamber of Commerce family. He's a part of my team for the Midwest region. And it was an incredible event. I mean, the place was just jam packed to the rafters. They had the who's who from the governor of Wisconsin to the Congress people to the mayor of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a brother who was there who spoke. And then Reuben set it off. When he walked out, the place just erupted. And I mean, when I say it was like a football. I mean, it was incredible. And then Biden came out, and there was a lot of information he gave. And sometimes I think it's important for us, no matter, because we're not a partisan organization, but we are a policy organization, and policies matter. President Biden has put more money in the hands of different communities under the Justice 40 than
That's
any
right.
other president in the United States at any time. Those are facts.
Those are facts.
And if anyone wants to, debate that, now we don't always get all the benefits, but the fact it's an executive order. The executive order means that if he's no longer there and someone else gets in, then that executive order is gone. And will that individual do the same thing? I'm not sure. You're going to have to make your own decisions about that. But it's important for us to understand the roles of Black Chamber of Commerce. It's about commerce, because there's still an inequity when it comes to revenues. And it goes back to the report that the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, then Matt Simpson presented it, where it talked about 70%, close to 69% of all Black businesses do less than $50,000 of revenue. We have to change that. And we have to get money and resources for chambers to help build capacity so they can get more contracts. Migrants are coming here and they need foods and services. We got to make sure, if they're coming into our communities, that we need to be doing the food, the contracts, what we need to benefit from that at the same time. That's got to be a part of an agenda. And my hats off. I know it's a difficult job for the mayor and for people in leadership to navigate, the humanitarian need and how basically to manage, because Black people feel like we've been left out. Where about us? So there's a big challenge there, quite frankly.
See, I want to piggyback on what you said with President Biden. See, when I was growing up, and all of us have had this happen, right? Mom cooks dinner, you walk into the house, you smell the food, and she's still cooking, and you go get on the video game system, and then when it's done, she yells out, "Hey, come on to dinner!" And sometimes we act a little stupid. We say, hold on, I'm in the middle of a game when we don't want to get up and we concentrate on something. And she'll say, listen, if you don't eat, it's your own fault that you went hungry because the table has been set, the food has been cooked, it's been placed on the table. All you got to do is come and get it. But if you choose to stay on that game or go back outside and play, it's going to get put up. Now, see, Biden, he set the table. He signed the executive order. And if we don't eat, it's our own fault. We have to go after this money because the food is already on the table. And that's why it's so important, the work of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. And you know what? And I'm part of the chamber, but I need to say this. When I became part of the chamber, I didn't really understand everything that the chamber did until I began to participate, and it blew my mind. I'm gonna tell you when the weight landed on me. I was invited to come to lobby day down in Springfield, and we were sitting at the table with the director of with the Secretary of Transportation. And so Larry Ivory said, now we understand about all the money that President Biden put into play, but we also understand about the executive order of the Justice 40 initiative. Who do you have in your organization that's over the Justice 40 initiative to make sure that it's being adhered to? And he said,
He
I don't,
he pointed the woman out.
Right.
And so Omar Osmond, Secretary of Transportation, did point her out. Now, we have to make sure, as Michael said, is that we have to make sure from a chamber perspective that we understand the rules. And we got great leaders like Congressman Danny Davis, Congressman Jonathan Jackson, who are phenomenal. And my hat's off to Jonathan Jackson, because I think he's going to be an incredible business leader. And I've listened to him. And I support Jonathan wholeheartedly because he gets it. And also Congressman Danny Davis, who's a senior leader on Capitol Hill. We gotta continue to support people like that, but we got to get the information, because compliance is important, because we can have the executive order, but if we don't even know how to ask for it, understand how it works and how to get compliance, people will continue to do what they've been doing. And sometimes we get left out. That's where the chamber, that's where the ministers, that's where the community gets involved. And when they know that you know, it's hard for them to hoodwink you, bamboozle you, or lead you astray.
Exactly.
But if you ain't got the information, if you don't even know the right question to ask, you're going to be vulnerable. And we take you through that. We know the right questions to ask, and we know how to get to the table to ask the right questions and hold people accountable for doing what should be done. We have work to be due. We have work to get done when it comes to procurement. And we still have we don't have as much participation on the contracting side with state government, federal government, as well as corporations. We still got work to do. We got to fight for that.
That's right.
That's what the chamber is about. It's about commerce. It's about looking at opportunities to do business overseas, not just do business in the United States. We got to think globally. Mother Africa, we got to find ways of partnering with people who look like you in Africa, who have great opportunities. And you can bring product, goods, and service like, SLG, they're a technology company. They can do business all over the world. So if someone needs something in South Africa, they need something in the Virgin Islands, we got people that can deliver. Our job is to put you in front of the opportunity and help you grow your business and be an advocate on policy for yourself.
Knowledge is power and collaboration is key.
Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely, Mike. Mr. Pearson, so let's talk about here real quick. The beauty of Mike is now certified. Mike is certified as a Black business owner, and that's going to help him to do what he does. We just recently had something that we needed to turn around in a heartbeat, and it wouldn't have gotten done. But we called MC Pearson up and say, "Hey, man, can you do this?" And it is so beneficial to have someone like you that I can call and say, "Man, I need to get this printed." And it gets done, and it gets done professionally, and it gets done well. So again, we want to, all my business friends out there, the infrastructure engineers, all of you, look at doing business with MC Pearson. He gets it. He knows how to get it done. And I want us to support each other because, see, when Michael benefits, he's already part of the family. If his business grows $1 million, that means that when it comes to contributing to different initiatives and different issues, he's going to be there to help us. That's why we have to invest in each other, because when we grow our own financial position, it means that we can help each other. When another white guy makes another 100 million, what does that mean to us? We can't call him up and say, "Look, I'm starting a business. I need to put, could you help me out? Could you give me some advice? Could you do something?" We got to understand that we have a vested interest in each other. We got to stop undermining each other, which is difficult for us sometimes, but it is what we have to do if we want to get to the promised land together.
Well, I thank you for the shout out on this morning. If you do want to contact us, we are at 25mprinting.com and our phone number is 708-398-3232. We are a full service printing company. And you know what? Our business has grown because of our relationship with the chamber. So when we talk about getting ready and why we should become a member of the chamber, I never saw the importance of becoming certified, right? I was doing my thing, had my head down, and the chamber and you and Gail Newcomb said, no, we need to get you certified. And so now, just to give you a small glimpse, now that we're certified, now we get emails from the village of Oak Park, and we get emails from different government agencies, and they come in and they say, hey, we need this type of printing and that type of printing. And so one of the benefits of joining the chamber and coming under your tutelage is, how do we expand our business? How do we make ourselves accessible to go after procurement contracts with the city and the state and the government? And this has been a beneficial relationship. And
Absolutely.
so we got to show up anytime you call us.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things I just simply say too is that we had some battles in 2023 with the state internal revenue on a particular procurement. We have not, given up on that. We are going to stay persistent until it gets done. Dr. Sterling is one of the most phenomenal guys in the healthcare space. We got to continue to fight to make sure that there is participation. Harry Lennox is doing this incredible facility here. So there's a lot happening, guys. We have to continue as an organization and as a people to continue to create more opportunities. And so, I'm glad to have my co-host here with me, MC Pearson, and none other than Lord Mike, who's also here on the mic with us today. Lord Mike, you can close us out, man.
Oh, man. Hey, it's always a pleasure rocking with you, gentlemen. Every Saturday morning, we want to see you here and hear you next week, next Saturday, 9 o'clock sharp, when we wake up together, right? Because you know why?
Ain't no stopping us now.
We on the move.
Peace.